Alright, I see you there.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Alright, so
Oh,
this is the Olaf game you sent me. Solo queue, you said bad early game, just kind of bad game in general.
yep.
So we'll start here, and I'll do the next game, which was the Elise game that went over better.
Uh-huh.
So here's the deal. I'm not going to be so concerned about results. I'm not going to flame you for, like, little misplays and stuff, but I want to get you thinking about the game in a better way and kind of, like, go over, like, what you're thinking at certain points, why you're thinking in certain ways, and then try to work with that so that you're thinking about the jungle correctly. A lot of my advice comes from the coaching I've watched, which is mostly solo queue focused. Actually, it's entirely solo queue focused, which is useful. I mean, we're talking about a team setting here, so it's different, but it's still useful in a way. So hopefully you can still get out of it. And then when if we go over the vibes of the scrim, we can talk about team play a little bit more. But these are solo queue games, so I'm just going to talk like only about what you should be thinking in solo queue.
Cool.
So this is my first time doing this. I have this pen. What are my controls?
Is it the easy pen thing?
Epic pen. Okay, cool.
Epic
So I think
pen.
it's working. You can see that. Hold on. You can see the yellow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like your LS.
Actually, don't really need to. All right, so what are we gonna do here? So, all right, let's start here. So we've got our matchups. What are you thinking here? You've got Olaf against Lee Sin. Tell me at this point, just draft alone, what you're thinking about, what your game plan is, where you're going to start, and what your first clear path is going to look like.
So if I'm in this loading screen, I don't want to gank top because I feel like that's just not a good time. I think my party would have been trying to get bot ahead, with the Morgana and whatnot, and then mid lane also trying to see if I can help out Zoe because I think Irelia's pushing in a lot, but I think my goal would be to get bot lane ahead with Jhin, Morgana, and trying to make sure Jhin is ahead against the Jinx as much as possible.
All right, let's talk about the jungle matchup first off. Olaf versus Lee Sin. If I'm not mistaken, Lee Sin's got a stronger early presence than Olaf, who kind of scales more into like mid to early late game. He's probably you're gonna have similar clear speeds, but he's gonna be it's way more important for Lee Sin to be landing ganks early than it is for you. So with that in mind, you kind of want to address this early game with like a defensive mindset where assuming, and just for the sake of things, assuming that he's equally as skilled a jungler as you, that he's going to be looking for ganks because his win condition is early, making sure his Irelia and Ryze can scale. That is a really hard scaling comp, actually. So, you also want to consider, like, what is Lee Sin's goals in this game? And since he's an earlier game jungler than you are, you have to take his plans into account more. Whereas if you were against, like, a Master Yi or an Amumu, maybe a Skarner, you could comfortably be like, okay, I'm going to control the pace of the game. My advances are what are more important. I can kind of ignore his game plan for a while because he has to play to me. But I think Lee Sin kind of sets the tempo in this game. So it's going to be important to think about what lanes he's going to be looking to get ahead early. Just because he is a little bit earlier jungler than you are. So here's what I think with these lanes. What you want to be looking at is champions. Obviously, their power curves, their attack range, and their summoner spells. So the first one is top lane. You've got range versus melee matchup, which means Ryze is going to be pushing into Tryndamere for the majority of the game. just because he's able to zone Tryndamere off the wave. This Ignite does give Tryndamere all-in power, but at the same time, Rise is going to be able to control the lane state a lot better because of Teleport. I think because Tryndamere's going to be pushed in, this makes it a viable gank target for you. Because, I mean, obviously Rise is going to be pushed up a little bit. He does have that phase rush, so he's extremely hard to gank. Honestly, this phase rush alone kind of makes this lane worth ignoring. Like, it's actually Tryndamere, and he might not get a lot of use out of Ignite, but you just don't have the hard CC to ever lock down this Rise.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much worth ignoring. There's not much you can do to save that lane unless Tryndamere starts steamrolling. Lee Sin might see it as a potential gank lane, especially diving early. And you can kind of hover if you feel like Lee Sin is going to threaten your Tryndamere, but other than that, there's not much you can do to help out that lane. Let's see what else. So mid lane, you've got range versus melee, but Irelia really doesn't get zoned off that hard against range champions.
Yeah.
I think this lane where you have 2 Ignites means it's very volatile. One champion doesn't have teleport to recover after a death. They don't have barrier heal to survive. So this is going to be a very volatile, high priority lane with this double Ignite matchup. And then in the bot lane, you've got Jhin Morgana, which is a duo that has great CC. Also, Zoe's got decent CC, especially against a melee champion. So another reason that's a good gank target. And then Jhin Morgana, you've got pretty reliable CC out of like Pool into Jhin W or Morgana Snare. And they've also got decent escape. So you can consider this, but I think your number one priority's got to be this mid lane and maybe hovering bot if you see like easy opportunities. It's gonna be hard to force on bot because this is a safe lane, especially post 6. So let's go ahead, and that's kind of how I would approach this game. What I'm thinking about is, what are my matchups? Who's pushing who? I think these two are going to push pretty equally. Jhin might even push into Jinx. It kind of depends on how the supports are able to position, but I think the game plan is definitely mid and leaning towards bot a little bit. So let's get into the gameplay here. All right, so going into this game, what did you say your plan was?
So I was gonna try to focus mid bot, and I think my early game clear was that I was just gonna do clear bot side and clear top side back for item, and then just start pressuring bot side when I can, with the level advantage if I can farm hard enough. And I'm not too sure about contesting Scuttle because I think the top side, or Lee Sin will probably finish top side. I don't know. I just want to avoid Lee Sin, especially since he has Electrocute. Like, I feel like he just burst me down pre-6. So, that's what I was thinking, I think.
It's kind of like get a full clear, avoid Lee Sin in the process, and then once you're level 3, level 4, start looking for stuff.
Yep.
Okay. That's a pretty good idea. So, in this case, it looks like you're about to start red. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The only change I would make, and this is optional, like the jungle meta is not very set right now. Is there a reason why you started red? Was it just because of the bot lane leash?
Bot lane leash, and I have no idea what the fuck was happening top.
Oh, they lane swapped?
I don't know. Like, I just looked at the minimap and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Okay, that's actually, it sounds better for Tryndamere. Zoe versus Rise. I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
Does that affect your game plan? Because like you didn't expect for this to happen, but you still kind of have to adjust to it. Does it change?
Yeah.
Your
it changed my game plan a little bit when I saw the lane swap. I was just like, I guess mid lane will probably be a better target, and I think top lane would be a farm fest. But I wasn't really sure how the Rise Zoe matchup gone, but I think both of them would just kind of just try to outfarm each other.
Right. So again, like we said before, Phase Rush Rise is incredibly hard to gank. You do have better CC now, but it's still not easy by any means. The mid lane, I think, is still viable because you have Double Ignite in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Tryndamere can actually run down Irelia decently well, so I think even though the matchups change, your priority is still pretty much the same, where it's mostly mid and a little bit towards bot.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, your first clear out, I know you said you kind of just wanted a full clear, get your recall, and then start waiting for ganks.
Yeah.
I think it was worth considering. It might have been better to start your blue side.
Hmm.
Let me think. Okay. So the things you're considering is, what do I want to do? What does Lee Sin want to do? Lee Sin, I think Zoe's going to be very vulnerable in that top lane. You know, she's not a high mobility champion, and she's in a longer lane now. So that's probably, top lane's probably still a good gank priority for Lee Sin. He's honestly got like 3 good lanes he can gank, so it's going to be hard to play around him. Mid lane's probably high priority because of double ignite, and bot lane because he's got great scaling and good CC. In a lot of these situations, you might be better off starting blue here. The reason being is like, once you finish your clear outs, whether at 6 camps or just 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're on the side of the map that you want to influence more. Like here, assuming you finish your routes, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that, you're on this top side of the map, which you're not really as interested in influencing. And I know, like you said, you're planning to back. You don't want to do much before you're level 3, level 4, but if you're full clearing anyway, it's probably better to end up on the side of the map you want to influence, which is bot mid, dragon, scuttle, whatever it might be. If you knew that Lee Sin had really, really high priority on top lane, then it would make sense to end your clear on the top side. But I think his attention is kind of split between 3 lanes, so you can't make that assumption.
Yeah.
I think the red side start is fine. You get the leash, and none of your lanes are desperate for ganks anyway. But just stuff to kind of think about when you're choosing your starting point. You don't want to do the same thing over and over again just because.
Yeah. The biggest influencer that I didn't want to start top was the fact that I already saw like Zoe go deep into her lane. I'm just like, I don't think she's gonna leash me at all. But then again, I'm playing Olaf. I don't think I need a leash, but
You don't need a leash, and you're full clearing anyway, so the speed is not as important. But
yeah.
just stuff to think about. All right, so let's see what time we're at. 1:12. What are they doing in there? Okay, so you got their top of their mid. Oh, your laners switched back. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, they're doing some dumb shit. Your laner switched back. Alright, so right here, what do you know right now? Something you just learned. Looking at the state of the game.
That they're probably not starting topside.
Yeah, jungler starting bot side. Obviously, I mean, almost definitely, because these two aren't leashing. Bots not showing, and I'm sure they're not going to show in the next 5 seconds. I can speed this up just a little bit. Yeah, so, of course, you should be looking at your minimap and including your first buff to see which, I need to get used to this. Like I said, it's my first time. Obviously, top side showed before bot side, so that's a good hint that Lee Sin's starting here.
Yeah.
Very
so I should
nice.
probably like pinging out.
Yeah, never hurts. Nice that they have vision here, so you're going to know as soon as he crosses into this vision or maybe onto his red, but 99% of the time, junglers are going to cross over this spot, which is why that's such a valuable ward.
Yeah.
It's going to last 60 seconds, which at 2:45, if he's taking 3 camps, he might not be here yet.
Yeah, I don't think Lee Sin likes to take Raptors early, so.
Well, even on his way to red, this ward
Yeah.
would spot him. But if he does 3 camps, that ward will expire. But that's enough to tell you that, hey, if I don't see him on this ward, that means he took 3 camps.
Yeah.
Whereas if he's trying to do like if he's trying to do blue wolves, maybe Raptors red, or maybe blue Gromp red, that'll give him level 3. Oh, actually, blue wolves red will give him level 3. If he does a path like this, you'll have enough time to see him. But this ward alone tells you that, like, if you never see him because this ward expires, that means he did 3 camps before crossing over to this side. And there's always exceptions. Like, maybe for some reason he went to this blast cone. Maybe he snuck around the vision somehow, but you need to be playing in, like, your 80% scenarios or, like, your 90% scenarios where it's, like, 90% of the time this information is useful. You don't want to be playing, like, oh, I don't know anything because there's a 2% chance he went here, blah, blah, blah. You want to be playing for, like, most likely to happen, especially in, like, gold, plat, even low diamond when people aren't thinking 2 steps ahead. But anyway, so yeah, we know he started bot. You're going to go for the full clear, which is not surprising. That's fine. So let me watch a little bit of this. So this is sped up just a little. I'm going to speed up a little bit more.
Also, I don't know what the fuck is happening in the minimap because Zoe's still in the top side. I don't really know.
Not much to do about that.
Yeah, so actually trolling. I think that's something I took into consideration. I think I might have changed my pathing because I don't remember. This was like 3 days ago.
Yeah. What the hell are they doing, man? It's so random.
I don't know.
It's so random.
I don't know, man. I feel like this is just one of those 1 in a million solo queue games. What is actually happening?
It's good that you're looking and like actually paying attention to what's going on. Yeah. I mean, that was an obvious like chance to look up, but even when you're clearing camps like this, it helps to just tab over to your bot lane, especially when like icons are close like this. It'll tell you a couple things. Like, you can check the minion state right now. Like, maybe red side has a huge wave stacked up, and they're pushing into blue, like, at 2 minutes. You know, it's possible blue hasn't even touched the minion wave. And if you're not checking, or tabbing and looking at CS, like, there's no way to go. So you're looking now, and that's good. I'm glad you're looking now. But you can do this, like, while you're taking the camp. And, like, you won't get to kite it as much, but being able to... This information is more valuable than 50 HP. It's more valuable than 30 HP, especially on Olaf. You can, you know... If you're not kiting perfectly, it's not the end of the world because this information is invaluable. This is the kind of information that, I mean, sets you tiers up in the jungle. So, ignore what's on the screen right now. Say you look bot and blue is hard shoving... Because this is the first time you tap down here.
Yeah.
Say blue is hard shoving... And now look, you're like, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, so you haven't looked yet. Let me go back to normal speed because this isn't working for me. Imagine in this situation. Alright, you look bot. What if your blue side was pushing into there? Like, without really being able to see too much about the minions, what if they had, you know, 8 minions to their 4 or something? Then you're kind of already walking down here and wasting time. Because if blue's pushing in, you're not doing it. There's nothing to do down here. You're not going for the invade because you know Lee Sin started here. If blue is pushing, there's nothing to do here, so this is wasted time. And you took that risk because you didn't check before you started moving here. You could have checked. I feel like I may have gotten a hint on. I didn't fully check on the game state, but I think this is just a bad habit of me. It's just like I saw the icons near each other and I just assumed something was happening bot. Yep. And from what I can tell right now, it looks like it's going to pan out to be decent pressure. But the fact that you didn't check first means that like you're gambling your time. Like, I mean, there's a chance that they're on top of each other, but there's nothing for you to do here and you're, you know, pathing down. However, you do see that, oh my god, they're just fighting all the time for no reason, dude. This is what gets me in my games. I'm like, why can't you just wait? Like, I promise I'll help you if you can just relax for a little bit. Yeah. I feel like this was wasted time. Did you get that kill? Ooh, okay, yeah. Questionable. Triumph, pot, nice. Ooh. So that's cool. Yeah. You got the kill. Did Jinx flash there? Yes. Yes. Flashed under tower. I'm pretty sure. That looks like her flash right there. After your first hacks. Of course you want to ping those, keeping track of those. Look, I'm not gonna critique your mechanics at all. Like if you died under the tower there, versus getting the kill, that doesn't make any difference to me, because I can't help you be a better mechanical player, but I can help you make better decisions. So it's nice that you got the kill. It was very close. You probably got a little bit lucky. But it's good that like you saw them fighting early on, you came down to help.
Yeah.
I think so. It ended up being 1-for-1, which sucks. And this is your bot lane basically setting you up for failure. It's like either you help them and you go 1-for-1 and you lose tempo in the jungle. Maybe you go 2-for-1. So like, what are the options here? Bot lane's fighting. You either you go down and you get 1-for-1, maybe 2-for-1, maybe even worse. Maybe you die there, you don't kill the Jinx, and this is like a bad situation. And all of these, you're losing tempo. Because now Lee Sin, he's taking 12 CS like you have. He's gonna clear all 3 of these, like, and you're so far away from this side of the jungle. So like 100%, if you're going bot here, you're losing jungle tempo. And you're going to have to decide whether or not that's worth the potential upside of coming bot here. Option B is you ignore bot lane. They either go 0-1 or 1-1 or like whatever else happens. And the jungle is still okay. Because you're pathing up. Your bot lane's fucking around, but there's no risk to you. And so this moment right here, you remember when right here we checked bot for the first time? That's when you have to be thinking about what's the risk reward of me going bot here. It's like, is this? I mean, this is the only good situation here, because I guess before you came down, your AD carry hadn't died yet. Let me double check that.
No, it was the support that died. Yeah.
Or support, yeah. So let's see when the support dies. Okay. You see the situation, support's dead. So in this moment, you have to decide, like, is me going bot more beneficial than ignoring these idiots and continuing to jungle? And, like, you already have one person dead. So like we said, 1-1's a possibility, 2-1 is best case scenario, but it's also possible that it goes sour. You have to think, is the possibility of a 1 kill or maybe 2 kills worth giving up this early jungle? In hindsight, which, like, hindsight's OP, right? I would say probably not. Just because at a high, well, maybe that's just me. At a higher level, Lee Sin's going to punish you. At a higher level, like, you show bot, Lee Sin takes Raptors, does these 3 camps, and then, like, you're completely fucked. At, like, a platinum level, it's probably okay to go for the kills here, but it ended up being a good play, but you were risking a lot, is basically what I'm trying to say. Like, this jungle tempo is really, really valuable. And these 3 camps, you're surrendering by trying to help out your bot lane. And it's just kind of stuff you have to be thinking about when you're making decisions to help your laners. But anyway, oops. It ended up being decent. What did we do? We did 1-for-1, got Jinx's flash.
I think it was just a 1-for-1. I don't think he kills him.
Yeah.
I should have just started backing immediately. I had no, like, I wasted like a couple seconds there.
It's okay. What, dude? Oh my god, I haven't. Is this high gold or low plat?
This is high gold, I'm pretty
High
sure.
gold. I haven't watched this level play in a while. So like me watching Tryndamere and Zoe run around in circles is
Yeah.
All right.
Also, I'm not sure on how I feel about the double longsword. I think I should have just gotten the jungle item.
I don't know the answer to that. I can't teach you builds. I don't know them that well.
Okay.
I would say the jungle item's probably better. I talked to Dylan recently. I'm trying to see the tab screen. That's what I want to see. Okay. I talked to Dylan recently about boots versus jungle upgrade, and he said like jungle upgrade 100% of the time. He delays boots a lot more than I used to, but yeah, I think you go jungle item. All right, so let's look at the screen. We saw Lee Sin for a brief second,
Yeah.
when you were ganking bot, but I don't expect you to, like, there's no way to watch Lee Sin while you're ganking bot. So he has 18 CS. You know he took 12 here. You should know he has 12 from here. And when you last saw him, he had taken one of these 4 camps. That's not... It's not super valuable information. If I had to guess, I would say he probably took Raptors because we know you had a ward on Raptors.
Yep.
I haven't seen him show elsewhere. So like I said, if he's really good, he would have been here and you're screwed and there's not much you can do about it. I don't think he's going to punish you. I think it's more likely he takes Scuttle or full clears and takes Scuttle. But even if we're not coming to a conclusion by thinking about this right now, it's a kind of thought process you need to have like 24/7 for the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game. Jungling, being a good jungler is all in the first 10 to 15 minutes. And there is an inconceivable amount of information you have to process to jungle at a high level. Like, and I'm obviously talking like D2, D1 plus, but peak jungling is just so much work for like the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then after that you're just playing League. That's why we've been in this for like 10 minutes already. We're only 3 minutes into the game because there's so much information to process and so much to think about. Every camp, every gank, every time you tab, every time you move the screen, you just have to constantly be thinking and evaluating, where's their jungler, where has he been, where does he want to go next, where do I want to go next, and stuff like that. So even if we're not coming to a conclusion by looking at this and seeing 12 and 18, I'm trying to reinforce like this thought process of what's happening, where's he going, where am I going.
All right.
If we saw that he had 2 more camps, if he had 24 CS, 26 CS. Wait, how does he have 18?
He did red, and he got to Raptors.
Half of Raptors before the ward expired.
Half of Raptors before the ward timed out.
Okay, that's smart. Okay, yeah. I was thinking it was 16, but 18 actually gives us good information. So that tells us we know he took 1, 2, 3. Then yeah, almost definitely 4, 5. So that's actually pretty good information. You can basically assume he's at 20 right now, and then either go into Scuttle or to red buff. Of course, the closer he is to your jungle, the scarier this is, because he's gonna be level. No, if you take Scuttle and he's 4 camps, I don't think that'll be level 4, but still, Electrocute Lee Sin is kind of scary. So his Raptor's probably gone, and he's going towards one of these 2 camps. That's what we know, or he went towards one of those 2 camps. That's what we know. Good that you're checking what's going around. Do you use your F keys at all?
I have no idea what's happening in this game.
F? No, I don't. I don't use my function keys.
You just use the mouse to click around?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay, as long as you're like in the habit of it. Obviously, anybody's going to say that F keys are easier, or like any other key on your keyboard. Like keys are more effective than dragging, but as long as you're in the habit of looking around, I don't think it's a problem.
I don't think my fingers are long enough. I'm trying right now. They barely hit the F keys.
A lot of people rebind ZXCV. I don't know if you have those down already. The coach.
V is my okay. V is my back ping. That's all I know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You can play around with that. I think that's what the coach I watch does. Either that, or it might be like XCVG. I don't know. It's weird. But that's another option.
That's a whack.
If you want to use keys, and F keys are too far away, then yeah, there's other options. But as long as you're using your mouse to look around frequently, like I care more about how frequently you're doing it and how well you're using that information versus what key or what button you're pressing to look around. It doesn't actually matter as long as you're doing it. So, all right, he took your blue. That was a good move by him because he saw you bot for a minute or 2. He could have taken more. You're lucky he left some stuff, or else. I mean, you're walking all the way down the bot. So,
and then he's topside now.
He's topside. Hopefully you look up. Yeah, and watch. Dang, you're actually really good. I'm impressed that you're doing a good job of looking around the map and reacting really quickly. Unfortunately, she's fucked, and there's nothing you can do there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're looking around. You're like actively evaluating what's happening. the coaching sessions I've watched for like gold to plat before, these people are just like centered on themselves the whole game. They don't press tab. They don't look around. They don't even like gather information about the game. Let's see, 2 times. So we're gonna. Oh, have we pressed tab? We haven't pressed tab. I don't think. Because you should be checking. Oh yeah, there it is. I need to slow down. That's my fault. I need to see how much CS Lee Sin has and find out what information that gives us.
I think it was before. It's like, oh
24.
my gosh.
Okay,
there we go.
so let's do this again. And like every time, you need to be keeping like track of what he had. So we saw 18. We can assume he had 20. So I mean,
Yep.
You see 24 now. What does that tell you? What camps is he taking and what's still up?
He still has the Krugs up
Mm-hmm.
because he did red Raptors and he took my blue, so that's 24, right? So
Yep.
3-3.
And I think it's
That's
also
24.
important to note that
Scuttle
this
is open,
Yep.
but I didn't want to contest Scuttle because I don't have top lane,
Yep.
and I think he was still pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I should have probably Scuttled because he doesn't have items. Ugh.
I
don't know.
You did have a nice item advantage. He was still
Yeah.
healthy. You did not have a top laner, but you do have a mid laner. So I think it's
yeah.
contestable, but I don't think it's a high priority. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
a 50-50 situation. Like, do you win this 2v2? Questionable. Like, it's not a guaranteed move, so like, why take a risk? It's like a 50-50 or 60-40 at best.
Yeah, it's not. And also, I think got a reset in too, so she would be coming back with item.
Mm-hmm. So
So maybe it was a good idea to avoid Scuttle.
I don't think it's a problem.
I don't know.
I think avoiding it's okay as long as you're thinking about it. And I don't know if you're talking about the game. I don't. And
I think it was
can't
late.
read your mind,
I
of
don't think
course.
I was talking about it.
Okay, most of us are silent gamers when we're not like
Yeah.
in comms or on stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, like not going there is fine as long as you're processing this information and you're acknowledging that it's up and that Lee Sin. I mean, okay, let's do this. So what we know he took. I'm still going to use this. 1, 2, 3, of course. 4, 5, 6.
And then
gank.
6. Yep.
So this is up. This is up, and he's still pretty healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty safe to assume that he's going to keep clearing his jungle. These are his 2 options right now. I think it would be weird to see him recall right now.
Yep.
You know that these 2 camps are about to respawn because yours do as well. And this is one of those things you can only do on the first clear. Like, you can use your timers to time his camps. But I think it's pretty safe to assume he's going towards one of these 2 camps. And what you can be doing now is just little ping. That's not what I wanted. Little pings here. Maybe like I would spam. I would click both of these once or twice. And look, your gold teammates aren't going to pay attention to that. Your plat teammates aren't going to pay attention to that. But that's a good habit to have, and I think that's a habit that translates really well into teams play. Because once you get in the habit of like silently calling these out in solo queue, that translates to calling them out in a competitive match. Because like, what if this is? I think Moon's your mid laner, right? If Moon's looking to like shove this and apply pressure on Leona, knowing that the jungler might be right here could be really valuable information to him. So when you're doing these mental gymnastics to figure out where the jungler is, where he wants to go, you need to share this information with your laners so that they can make educated decisions off of the work that you've done. Because jungling is not just clearing, farming, ganking. It's reading the map, reading the other jungler, protecting your laners with information, and making plays off of information. So once you learn to like constantly evaluate the map and identify where the jungler is, where they can be, information is everything. This gives you, if this wasn't a brain dead solo queue teammate, maybe you ping the jungler here and Tryndamere wants to fight. Maybe this is your teammate who's really confident you win the 2v2, or maybe it's enough information that he can get out of there safely. But by not pinging this, there's a chance that this ape just pushes under tower, gets ganked from here, maybe from here, and you're taking a loss that way. So
Yep.
Reading information, sharing information. like I said, not going to the scuttle is okay, just as long as you're thinking about the game and thinking about where Lee Sin can be. So he's at 24. I assume here you're going to go 1, 2, 3 and maybe look bot, or 1, 2 and look bot.
Yeah, I think I go Wolves and strict scuttle here. That's
Bot
what I
scuttle?
hope I do. That's what I would think I should do.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart too.
Because scuttle is worth a lot, right? The first scuttle?
I should know the answer to that, but I don't.
Okay.
That's
what I would
I think
assume,
it is worth a lot. I think you're right.
Yeah. Its vision gives you a lot of gold, it leaves you a lot of healing too.
And you know what else I like about that? If you were to go like, Lee Sin is. There's only 3 options for Lee Sin. 1, 2 we already talked about. There's also a chance he recalled, but like.
Yeah.
By the time you take this camp and get there, he's not going to make that. If option C happened, he's not going to be done with this camp yet. So like it's still you can still get it. Whereas if you did what I originally said, like 1, 2, and then look, there's a slight chance he's already taken it. So I do like the idea of taking the riskier camp sooner.
Yeah.
That's cool. This also puts you in a good position to check bot lane. It gives you the chance to look for vision, really valuable vision. If something goes wrong mid, So yeah, Scuttle's a great call here, and I like that you said that. Because
now let's see if me of the past did it, because I have a feeling I didn't.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's like, dude, VOD review is so painful. I hate it. I don't hate it, but it's painful, man. All right, let's go up to 2 speed here, dude. I love that you're checking your map at all times, and whenever you see icons on top of each other, you're looking at them. I mean, you could be doing better. Like, you're doing it in between camps really well.
But not during.
You could always do it more. I mean, if you're playing a strong jungle champion who clears the jungle with ease, like Olaf, like Jarvan, like Warwick, shit like that, then you can check it in between camps, and like this 30 extra HP you lose by not kiting 1 hit, it doesn't matter. If you're playing like Talia, it's different. If you're playing, I don't know, Karthus can't look around very well because you need to be spamming Qs, but
yeah,
a lot of weaker junglers, you don't have that luxury of looking around 24/7. Here, you can do it like every other hit. Just check a lane for a couple seconds, go back here, check a lane, go back here. So you're good at doing it in between lanes, but you could always be doing it more. Oh, see, okay. I think if you had pinged this Scuttle Crab, and if this guy had a brain, which we're going to assume he doesn't, you might have been able to prevent this. So regardless of, like I said, I don't care how the situation ends out. I care about how we got to this situation and what you're going to do about it. So yeah, this was in a 5 situation. This was preventable if you shared the information. So look, you can't expect them to do anything. So let's clear this out and see what happens. Slow it down.
I feel like something stupid happens here. That's what I think. Most dumb things happen when Tryndamere is in the game.
And I think you see this, and you're walking right towards it, which is the right call. Like, this is salvageable. It's not fucked yet. You're not sacrificing your jungle to help him because the jungler's here too. I mean, he's fine. Well, okay. He went back in. If he hadn't gone back in, like, missing this ping wouldn't have hurt, but he decided to go back in because he's a solo queue teammate, and that's what they do. But even if he had survived, like, not giving him this information, he's going to be, like, half health at best, or quarter health, and his lane's kind of screwed. So, just how vision can help you. So I think here, are they going to shove the wave? If they shove the wave, you probably wait to catch it, because that's really valuable, especially as a Season 10 jungler. If they don't, you should know that this is no longer safe, because you don't have push in either, like, yeah, you know that's not safe. I don't have to tell you that. You know that's not safe. If they don't push, for whatever reason, you could let it freeze, but I'm sure that they will. I assume that they will. Yeah, they're going to get it pushed in. So I think it's fine to sit and catch this. You see Lee Sin on that ward, you should be pinging him out. Like, it's good that you're looking at him, but this is information you can share with your brain dead teammates.
Yeah, that's true.
Or in ranked, you're calling it out, you're pinging him twice. Not in ranked, sorry, in 5s.
Yeah.
This is fine. Are you aware that you're in XP range here?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, I do that too. I wouldn't do it in competitive unless you're like really, really far behind. In solo queue, I do it pretty often.
It's just something I've kind of trained myself to do. So
it's a dick,
I don't know if it's a good or a bad habit here, but
it's a dick move. If mid was like stalemated and they were both level 5 and whoever hit 6 first would win the lane, then this is griefing. But in this case, we're like Trinimir's a little behind. Levels don't matter that much. I mean, first off, he's not even experience range, so it doesn't matter. But like, if it was dead even and they're both level 5, then this is griefing. But or like level 8. Otherwise, this is okay, and I think it's fine. I wouldn't do it in competitive unless you're like a level 5.8 Nocturne, or like let's say 5.6, where this camp wouldn't get you over.
yeah.
Unless you have a really important level 6, I wouldn't do this in competitive because your solo laners are always more valuable than you as a jungler right now. Just unfortunate. As long as you're aware. Once again, like I'm not okay. I'm not here to critique everything. I just want you to think about stuff. So how did this happen? Let's see.
I saw him on the ward.
You saw him. Yeah, let me scroll back just a second because I wasn't thinking about it either. So you're clearing. I mean, you're catching mid, which is fine.
Yep.
We saw him bot, so that's being taken.
And he's gonna get full HP from it.
Yeah, you're right. He is going to get full HP from it.
So this is actually...
He faked you out. The split second you were looking at him, he was walking right. But even if you hadn't looked, I see 3 options. 1, 2. I'm going to consider these 2 the same option, or 3. In his situation, he's really safe to come invade you because of this mid push. Bot lane is also a really good option for him, and farming is always good. So like, I would weight these 3 options equally, but a lot of times in solo queue, well, not even in solo queue, just in league, you kind of have to expect for like worst case scenario. It's like, if you acknowledge that there's 3 options, it's like, what do I do if he's doing this? It's like, okay, then I'm safe to farm. Like, whatever I do doesn't matter. Maybe I look for a gank mid. Option 2, what if he goes bot? What do I do? Well, I'm too far away to help. If I run over there, it's probably doomed. But honestly, you have vision, so like you should be able to. This is, if he tries to go bot, that's not on you. Like, they have vision, they can survive this. But option 3, what if he goes here? It's like you should know, and like, we're not perfect. I'm not like criticizing you for not thinking about it, but like, if you're playing perfectly, you should know this is an option. You should realize how much of a risk it is, and I think just simply dragging that camp down here would have prevented this death. So just always evaluating options. And yeah, you're doomed here. Oh, okay. Let me see. I don't like talking about mechanical stuff too much, but God, Olaf is disgusting. I love that this was actually close. If you dragged him to this spot, you might have gone 1 for 0, but whatever. This death more comes from not preparing for that. It's not about a mechanical mistake.
Yeah.
So. I want to see the scoreboard. So 33. All right, let's try this. Well, okay. Without even like, this number doesn't matter at the moment. It's going to matter in a minute, but for now it doesn't matter. You should know that these 5 camps are out, because what has he done? He ganked top, he went to Scuttle, he went mid, he went to Scuttle.
God knows Scuttle. Yep.
So Scuttles are down. These 4 camps are up. You know his blue is not about to spawn, because yours is not about to spawn, and like it's 5 minutes in the game. So let's see, you're respawning, and like you can't like guess what he's doing because he has too many options right now. You can't make an educated guess about where he's going to go. If it was a super mana hungry jungler like Karthus, you could probably guess that he's going to path bot side and pick up his buff in a minute. But like Lee Sin, he has 4 options, and you can't really like make an educated guess off of this. But what you can do is make note of his current CS and be like, okay, if I see him show on this ward with 33 CS, I know he hasn't taken any camps.
Yep.
If I see him with 37, I know he's taken one. If I see him with 41, he's taken both. So while you can't make any immediate decisions, you can use the information on the map, 1, 2, 3, 4 camps, to set yourself up in the future. So where are you going to go here? What's your next plan? I mean, you've got only one neutral camp up.
I only have one play. I think it's the Krugs.
Krugs, maybe Hover Dragon. I guess.
Yeah.
So let's.
I mean, the best case scenario is that Lee Sin still didn't take his first Krugs, so hopefully he's going topside. But then that would mean we beat a Dragon. Yeah.
I think the fact that Dragon's so important kind of nullifies that option, or it makes it like a much worse option. I wouldn't put it past him at this level.
Yeah.
I think like perfect IQ player would probably ignore that because Hovering Dragon is too important. Actually, here's something I'm noticing now. Their bot laner's dead, and your lane is going to hard shove. So I think like his priority is going to be bot side. Like I think that's a pretty good priority for Lee Sin here.
Yeah.
If your bot lane doesn't back up soon. So I like going bot. Maybe Krugs, maybe Hover. I think this is a pretty obvious choice, but there's more depth to it than just, hey, this camp is up.
Yeah.
Actually, here's a second option. Since your bot is such high incentive, you could possibly come sneak into here, maybe get some vision, maybe steal away some camps, if you were like in a heavy scaling matchup. Maybe not in the Lee Sin matchup, but just something else to consider. You're like, hey, these guys are really pushed. They're kind of fucked, so I'm going to go do something else. I don't know. Just thought. Let's speed this up a little bit. Let's see what's going on. But yeah, I agree that in this situation, going bot is the best scenario. Just because you're only camp, dragon, and protecting bot side. I think... Alright, so we talked about how Lee Sin has two options, and you don't know which one he's going to do. I think it's safe to ping away here, hoping that these guys will pay attention. Because let's say it's a 50-50 chance which side he goes on.
Mm-hmm.
If he goes top, nobody's in danger. Like, it's not a big deal. Tryndamere should be fine. But if he goes bot, this is bad. Like, these guys could get double killed. So I would warn your bot lane. In a solo queue match, I would spam ping them back. I'd be like, hey guys, get out of there, like Lee Sin's coming. In a competitive match, I would say like, hey guys, Lee Sin might be coming bot. Like, okay, it's okay to lie to your solo queue teammates. It's not okay to lie to your like competitive teammates. Because what happens if Lee Sin paths top and you say, hey guys, you need to leave. Lee Sin is coming right now. What happens?
Mm-hmm. Then they basically just lose all their pressure for nothing.
They back up.
And yeah.
They back up. They probably take this cannon and leave. Maybe they take all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they reset.
And Jinx gets a freeze.
Jinx can get the freeze, yeah. But I think the slight loss that this bad call gives them is worth the chance that it's the right call and you're actually preventing a double kill. So, in a solo queue environment, I would be like, hey guys, I think Lee Sin is coming for you. I think you should give up this lane and just reset now. Because that prevents an O2 situation from happening. Worst case scenario, you're wrong and they lose a few minions and they have to deal with Jinx getting to do what she wants. But I like the idea of always assuming your teammates are idiots and always assuming the worst thing is happening. In competitive... be honest, be like, hey, there's a chance Lee Sin's coming down, his blue's about to spawn. So I think it's likely that he's down here, but different situations. So let's see, they're gonna hang around. We don't know where Lee Sin is. I would guess he's leaning bot side for blue and for dragon. Your bot, I don't like that they stayed with no resources Lee Sin has incentive. See, again, like, if you're like, Lee Sin could be bot, that might give them incentive to reset, because right now they're sitting ducks, man. That's such an easy gank for Lee Sin. Such an easy gank. So it's risky that they feel safe down there. And, okay. They ended up fighting. Okay, they died because they tried to fight the 2v2.
I think I should have just started walking down there.
They died because they tried to fight this 2v2 with no resources. The fact that Lee Sin shows up does not matter.
Yeah.
They're dead anyway. This is an 0-2, maybe a 1-2 at best. And you lose Dragon. Just because they stayed. I think if we warn them about Lee Sin, there's a chance that their monkey brains told them to reset. And then this doesn't happen. Whether or not Lee Sin's here doesn't matter. Like, they shouldn't have stayed, and scaring them with the jungler might have saved the situation. But they decided to fight. There's not, like, once they start to fight like this, there's nothing you can do about it. For a split second, you don't know where Lee Sin is. But it's not really relevant, because your bot's about to die, and there's no reason to stay bot side. So, that's on them. Not much. I mean, you could have warned them about Lee Sin. There's a 5% chance they would have listened. They're going to die anyway, and you probably lose Dragon off this, I'd have to assume. So let's see. I think clearing out's fine. You really have no incentive to be bot side. You could be checking your lanes. We talked about that a little bit. Like, it's good that you're checking between. It's good that you're at least looking. Top TP. They did take Dragon. Oops. I'm almost done with this. Just a couple more things on this game, and then we'll move on to the next one. Let's watch them die one more time, because they deserved it. Bye-bye. Alright, they get the double kill. I think it's pretty clear that Dragon is really high priority, and if not Dragon, then blue buff. I think you could have safely pressured this side of the jungle. Maybe take 1-2 and then come back here. Because you know Lee Sin is going to one of two places. I mean, there's a 99% chance he's sticking around in this jungle. At least for, 20 seconds here, 10 seconds there. So you've got time to get a little advantage over him. If you remembered that this is still level 1, I wouldn't bother with it. Honestly, I would have forgotten. But you know that this one's leveled up. So you could deny this, ward that, and get out of there. That's something you could have done despite surrendering Dragon. Because you can't do anything about this without a bot lane. That's gone. But you can still try to build advantages with what you have left and deny that, get some vision, instead of just going to your jungle. Because you know where Lee Sin is. You know it's safe up there. At worst case, it's a 2v1 with Irelia. Something to think about. Always look for opportunities. Counter jungling is good. Especially when you have knowledge about the jungle. So yeah, he takes that. You could have cleared that by now. And again, like, in solo queue, you just gotta assume your teammates are so stupid. Like, Dragon's cleared, and this guy is looking for ways to engage on Irelia. If you're spam pinging him, maybe this doesn't happen. And like, it doesn't hurt. Just, I know they're hopeless solo queue teammates, but if you spam ping that, maybe this doesn't happen. I think you're too far away to try to salvage that. But I don't think ganking top is a better option because it's phase rush rise. So I think this is okay.
I think I should have just done to invade to start with at the top side, like you were talking about earlier with the Raptors and Krugs.
I think so too, but okay. But moving on from that, like you're here, you see this happening. I don't know if this is worth your time, so I think this is okay. Get this CS and then clear jungle. I think this is fine.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're going to devolve into mid-game, and that's when jungling stops happening. I guess we're only 7 minutes in. I don't know. I think we've got a lot out of this game, though. I'm kind of ready to move to the next one.
This game is just... everything just starts falling apart after, like... I think, like, the 9-minute mark. We get a kill here. I waste a flash. He gets away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I blow so much.
Nah, like... Say you could play this game again with the exact same mechanics, but your jungle pathing and like your thoughts are a little bit different. Like, say this exact game happens again, but you don't go bot and you get the CS. Or say this exact same game happens again and you warn your mid laner that Lee Sin was coming from Scuttle. You see how like these little decisions can change this from a 5-7 game to maybe like a 5 kill to 5 kill
like,
game, or like maybe 5-4.
Yeah, 5-3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe 6, like at best 6-4, 6-3. Like, your mechanics don't have to be better to improve as a jungler. Like, so much of your victories come from knowledge and thinking about the game. Like, that's why I don't care about whether or not you get this kill down here, because it's the decision that matters more than the micro. At least until like high diamond. Or you re-enter this game, and after that dragon, you went into here, and you know, if you're thinking about the game more, your micro play barely matters. Once you're competent, and you're clearly competent. I have friends in bronze who still don't understand how tower range works. Once you're past that level, dude, micro matters so little in the jungle, because it's all PvE. It's PvE and reading the scoreboard and reading the map. So yeah, I mean, it looks like you're starting to play a little desperately now. This is wild, but I guess you have information. So once mid game develops, and it develops really early here because everybody's apes, and people just start dying for no reason. Once mid game develops, you're not really jungling anymore, right? I mean, it's running around at this level. It's running around getting kills, hoping somebody calls an objective. So there's nothing else to learn from a jungle standpoint once the game collapses like this. Whether it's in your favor or not, jungling is basically over at this point. Like, yeah, you're still going to take camps. Yeah, you're still going to take objectives. But this next level thinking doesn't benefit you much once he stops taking camps. Once you stop doing routes, once the routes stop, like, jungling kind of stops, and then you're just playing League. So
yeah.
You want to move on to one more VOD? Maybe we can go a little quicker.
Yeah, we can. I think we have time.
Cool.
I don't know when the scrim is. I don't even know if we have a scrim.
Yeah, it's kind of questionable right now.
I'm dying.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're sick, aren't you?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It feels bad.
You're sick, and you had fucking jury duty, and everybody's busy because it's the holidays.
Yep. This is such a weird week to have scouting grounds. I'm gonna be weird, real.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think it was a little oversight.
Yeah, I feel like the diamond one will be a lot better, but the gold plat one is like, oof.
So just quick recap. This game we talked about at the very beginning. We talked about matchups, gank priority, game plan. And look, I could be a lot better at game plan. Maybe Hubris is a better coach for this. I can identify personally as a diamond jungler. I can identify how lanes push and like which lanes are easy or hard to gank. I'm not great at understanding like, okay, what needs to happen for me to win this game. Like, there's a lot of players who can look at the screen and be like, I have to spam gank Jhin and then we'll win the game, or I have to make sure Irelia doesn't get fed and then we'll win the game. I'm not very good at that, but I think in order to improve a lot, all you have to do is identify which lane you can look at this. Which lanes are going to be gankable? Which lanes have gank assist? Which games are volatile? Which lanes are volatile? And then kind of identify your game plan, and you can, for the most part, decide your first path off of this, where you're starting, where you're clearing towards. So we talked about formulating a game plan. We talked about looking at the map more while you're taking camps. I'm actually going to write these down because I think this could be just having them written out. So 1, game plan, gankable lanes, gold lanes. Talk about 2, looking at the map more during camps as opposed to in between them. All right, we talked about evaluating gank decisions and the risk reward of every situation. We talked about how, like, best case scenario you get a kill, but worst case scenario you lose this whole entire side of the jungle. Maybe you get 2 kills, but you have to decide whether or not that's worth these jungles. So 3 was evaluating the the value of gank versus farming. Let's see, what else we talk about? I don't care about micro. Talk about tracking the jungler and their CS, of course. We talked about sharing your information with the team with pings. Let's see. We talked about covering your ass in like worst case scenario, like in this death, where it's like covering for worst case scenario, which could mean your death, it could mean your bot laner's death, but it's like if he has 3 options, do I want to gamble that he's not doing this one? And the answer is usually no. You don't want to make that gamble. Let's see what else. Once again, sharing information about the game with pings. What, you have your pings bound somewhere you can reach them easily? I don't think I see.
Yeah, I have it
ping
to
much
G.
at all. It's G. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely just ping more. People might get annoyed at it if they mute you.
I tend not to ping in solo queue, but I think this is a habit I need to build.
I agree that a lot of people it tilts them, but I feel like the benefits outweigh the risk. It's like if they want to 1v9 and mute everybody in their pings, like you can't do anything about that. But what you can do is provide useful information to the teammates that do want to listen.
Yeah.
Anything else I want to add? Talk about how would I rephrase that invade during Dragon. I would just say like.
Honestly, I think that invade.
I would say like cutting.
Knowing how to
losses.
punish, I guess.
Like
I don't know.
Aggressive plays to cut your losses. Like you're losing Dragon, which is huge, but taking his camps first and then your camps is more valuable than just your camps.
Yeah.
So I'll say that aggressive. Smart plays to cut losses. I'm gonna change it to just smart plays. Smart plays to cut your losses. And then the game became involved. Is there anything else? Okay, yeah, y'all chased him and it didn't happen. Alright, let's move on. Let's do the next game. I'll try to not be repetitive. Maybe we can get to it kind of quickly. Let's see.
I mean, I feel like the next game, the early game, was a lot better.
Okay.
Question mark. Hopefully. I like the Yoshi, by the way. Big Yoshi.
I know personally, like, I don't like watching myself or like hearing my own voice.
Yeah.
Which is why I put that up there. Oh wait, that's.
I agree.
Again. This game doesn't have a thumbnail. I hope it works. Is it gonna work? Yeah, it's gonna work. All right. Start off. Tell me your game plan. Tell me what you're looking at. Which lanes are priority and what your first clear out is gonna be like.
Okay, so I'm looking at this game, and I think top lane is free. We have to win that, so I'm thinking I start top lane.
Do you remember what Kiana's other summoner spell was? It's probably Ignite.
I think it was Ignite. It was Ignite.
Oops.
I remember this Kiana just sucking, just completely.
Let me see. Okay.
Yeah, it was Ignite.
Okay. So tell me what you're thinking.
I start top side and I just path bot, and top lane I can just leave alone because that's over. Because any melee matchup against Tryndamere is like done. Mid lane might be a little bit hard to gank because LeBlanc things, unless my Cassiopeia is competent. So I'm looking bot lane's gonna play super aggro. Gragas is constantly gonna be looking for stuff, and Aphelios can really push his lane. So bot lane will probably be a great place to start snowballing, and usually a Fed Vayne's usually the end of a game.
True. All right, let me tell you what I'm thinking. One thing we saw before is that these two are duo queued. I think that's pretty valuable information. They have like almost the same name, so I'm pretty sure they're duoed. I like duo bots. I'll typically like put a little more priority to them, regardless of their stats. 6 ignites, dude. What the hell, man?
Yeah, I don't know. This is a bloodbath.
There's a lot of volatile lanes. So I trust what you said about Tryndamere here.
Mhm.
Tryndamere can handle Kiana in the 1v1.
Mhm.
The counterpoint, I think, is that Lee Sin can bully Tryndamere. Like, he's super vulnerable. Like, yes, he wins the 1v1,
Mhm.
but protecting him until level 6 maybe needs to be a high priority.
I feel like either way, like even if Trinity gets ganked once or twice, Trinity will still accelerate faster than the Kiana because Kiana can't roam from top lane.
That makes sense, and I agree with you. Here's my counterpoint. If Vayne is your win condition,
Yeah.
or Cassiopeia, say both of these laners get fed, but so does Kiana, I think she is the biggest threat to your win condition here. I think, and I mean, obviously, she is too. I think these are the two biggest threats to your two carries. So that's why I kind of disagree with focusing the Vayne. You've got 3 volatile lanes, 3 gankable lanes. LeBlanc, okay, LeBlanc is hard to gank. That one's hard. This one's not as much hard as it is risky. But I think if you focus bot and ignore these 2 characters, I don't think Vayne can. I don't think she's gonna have a good time. Let's see what else. This is hard. You don't get much gank assist out of her. Do you win the 2v2? Oh, that's another one. I forgot to mention that last game. Looking at the game, you win the mid jungle 2v2. I would say you probably don't. I think this one's all about the drop, really. Who gets the first hit, whether it's you or LeBlanc.
I think I could say with confidence I don't think Cassiopeia at least win that 2v2.
Probably not. Man, you know what else? She sucks to gank too because that stupid grass thing. I hate this game, man.
Honestly, like I was just looking at this. It's like I feel like I think bot lane is literally the lane that makes me lose the least brain cells. I don't know.
Yeah, I think okay. I think 1, Vayne is gonna get shit on by these 2 if they get ahead.
Yeah.
But 2, this is like your only good gank option. Like they're the least cancer to try to get on top of. The other option is just playing to out jungle, like run over the Lee Sin, don't let him get any ganks off, and win 2v1s instead of 2v2s.
Right.
But in order to do that, you have to have the push. And you think Tryndamere pushes 1v1 against Kiana?
In that top lane, it really just depends on the level 1 trade.
Yeah, you're right. I think
like Tryndamere lanes, I don't know. I feel like Tryndamere lanes are just completely different.
Yeah, it's hard to judge. And like I'm not the best judge at a lot of these lanes because I don't play top lane and I barely play mid lane. Like it's hard for me to evaluate these. I think Cassiopeia pushes till like she gets mana regen. I feel like LeBlanc doesn't push until she can like one shot the back wave with W. Does that sound right?
I would say yes. Yeah.
And look, I'm not perfect, and that's why I'm struggling to identify how this lane pushes. But let's say I'm right. Let's say Cassiopeia and Tryndamere both do push in. Then you can focus on this matchup. It's like, hey, I can't gank her. I can't gank her, but I have 2v1s with both my solo laners, so... Or priority. Priority is what I should be saying. Priority with both my solo laners. So that, if both of these push in, that makes this matchup a good target. Let's say you don't win that, then this is not a good option. And I think that makes bot lane your best option. Even though Vayne... I disagree. I think Vayne's not the best carry because she's super squishy. Whereas these 2 champions have some survivability. So I don't think she's your best carry, but I think if winning this lane's not an option and winning that lane's not an option, then this is your only decent option left. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. This is going to be a crazy fucking game with this 3 ignites. I mean, 6 ignites, really.
Yep.
All right, so what did you say your plan was going into this game? You said focus bot?
Start top side, get an early bot gank in.
Good.
Because I feel like I'm a little bit confident that the Tryndamere wins the low, especially in this elo. I feel like Kianas don't know how to play against Tryndameres. So I'm like assuming, I don't know if this is a good idea now, I'm assuming Tryndamere wins that level 1 trade and I don't need to really pressure top. So I'm just going to start top side and path towards the bot.
Yeah. I said I wouldn't critique builds, but I'm pretty sure this item sucks. I think it sucks
Finally.
a lot. I think it sucks on everybody, except for like Master Yi, maybe.
I feel like it really just depends. I'm only starting it because I know I'm going buff to buff, and especially since I'm starting Gromp side. That's what I'm thinking.
Let me see.
I see most people will start Machete too.
Oh. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, because
cool.
like my thought process is that you're starting with Gromp, right? You do blue and Gromp, and I feel like that's just you get a lot more healing out of Machete with your W.
Okay.
Compared to that's what I think though
Right.
with Taos.
Okay, I was wrong. And like I said, I don't critique people on builds because
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
not that
it's
great with
cool.
them. I actually always start this item, and when I do, I can start red. So okay, let's go back to the game. Where is it? Mouse. Nope. Mouse. Okay. So there's two ways to gank bot early. One is buff camp, buff bot.
Mm-hmm.
The other is, if you want to do it like as soon as possible, buff camp, buff bot. The other option would be buff, buff, buff bot. I think those are the two options. So yeah, this is fine. 1, 2, 3 gank, and that's good with this item. You actually could go wolves, because although outer camps give bonus experience or more experience, so do the buffs. So if that's option 1, this is fine. Option 2, which is equally fine, 1, 2, 3, you would have to start Talisman because you need the slight mana regen. But if you know you want to start top, then I think that's fine. But just options to consider. All right, what kind of nonsense we're going to see here? All right, I really just want to watch tracking this game. Let's see what happens. So, don't tell me they're going to lane swap again, dude. I can't handle it if they do it again.
Yeah, I got really scared. I saw the Trinity Man. I'm like, not this shit again.
Yep. You lost the Olaf game, I assume?
Yeah,
Okay.
we lost hard.
Yeah.
Not in specifics, but Zoe kind of just hard ran it down. I didn't get any ganks top, yada yada.
Yep.
I also noticed I didn't kite properly with my spiderlings here, but
Yeah, I don't know the specifics on that. And once again, dude, micro is it's nothing in like plat to diamond level jungling. Micro doesn't mean shit. I mean, Elise is a healthy clearer, so you can make mistakes like that and you're okay. If you were playing Talia, you can't make mistakes like that, but like Elise is fine.
yeah.
There's probably a super optimal way to do this that I'm not aware of, but I don't think it matters that much, so I wouldn't worry about it. Unless you're like one tricking Elise, I don't think it matters that much.
I'm not Mila Mao Big D.
Exactly. So we know the jungler started blue. They tried to cheese him down here.
I probably should have just looked. I think I
Yeah.
don't look there. I see the pings, but I'm just like, well, I mean,
At this point, I'm worried the jungler's going to go finish that fight. Like, they've been doing that for a while, and there's nothing you can do about this, but that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm like, it's Lee Sin, right? Are you against Lee Sin again?
Mhm.
I'm worried that Lee
Yeah.
Sin's going to go execute them.
I'm looking. I'm very surprised I didn't look at the bot.
Oh, yeah, there he
I
is.
can't believe I looked at it now.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty bad. Oh well,
Um,
I mean,
So, let's see. So, yeah, you should have been looking a little bit more. Your top lane's on top of each other. You should look there. Look at mid. Yeah, just, I mean, you're not bad at looking around the map, but you could always do more. I like that you're
Yeah.
going red here. I think that's smart.
I don't know why I transferring back to Spider.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh my god, what am I doing?
Yeah, it hurts your clear a little bit, but
Oh no.
I'll tell you what you're doing. You're playing ranked at 2 a.m. That's why.
That's
Also,
true.
do you see this tear in the map?
Oh yeah, I see it all the time. I
What
don't know
is
why.
that?
When I'm observing, I think it's just a graphical error when because it transforms. Each tile transforms when the new dragon comes out,
Oh,
right?
I've never
Dragon
seen
Soul.
that. I don't
Mhm.
see it on my games.
Yeah, it's very odd, but I
Mhm.
mean, oh well.
All right.
It's the things you get to see when you're observing, I
Yeah.
guess.
So, why didn't you take his Raptors here?
I wasn't healthy enough, and mid lane just died. Mid lane's nowhere near mid lane right now because
Yep.
mid lane just died.
How much HP does LeBlanc have?
I did not check.
Yep, didn't check. If she's
But either way, I was just not sure because usually I think in this elo, like, when you start a play like that, I think you just kind of go panic mode. You immediately go for the reset. You try to compensate
Get in,
by
get
going
out.
to your next buff. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like Lee Sin was still like. I mean, how long is he? Okay, we're at 219.
hmm
How long does it take to clear? Like 20 seconds, 15 seconds. All right, 20 seconds.
hmm
I feel like the Raptors. Well, you did smite that.
Yeah.
At the
I don't
very-
know. I think the biggest thing is just that I don't really have a ton of damage.
At the very
yeah.
least, you should have warded. I would have
Yeah.
warded right there, or in the bush. You should have checked mid sooner. If she was at 50 HP, you should have gone for it. Or if she was at 50
Yeah.
HP, probably could have taken that. Because that's a level 2 Lee Sin coming your way. I would have liked to see you be a little more aggressive here. You can either take Raptors, look mid, or sit in the bush if you really think Lee Sin is coming, which I doubt. I guess that's possible. I could see Lee Sin coming. I could also see Lee Sin going here. I think him coming straight to red or Raptors is a low percentage chance.
No, I think he backs and then gets
Oh,
another jungle item and then runs to Raptors. That's what I was thinking.
That's not a bad thought. Did we see
But
this help?
either way, I think I do agree. I did play a little bit safe.
Yeah, a little too safe. I would have liked to see you take that camp. Maybe take the big golem.
Yeah, I should have also considered that top lane too.
Like,
Oh my god, my right I can't watch.
it's okay. Okay, so like, you didn't make any mistakes. Okay, if you're jungling in like what I'm used to, like D4 plus, you have
Yeah.
to be making the right moves. But like until then, if you just stop making mistakes, you'll shoot up. Like platinum gameplay is all about which team makes fewer mistakes. So not taking that risk is okay. I mean, you obviously in hindsight, you could have gotten away with it. I think you had enough information to do it, but it's not that big of a deal. You should have checked mid. Should be looking at bot. I get your little scan. You should have dropped the ward. Should have dropped the ward. That's the biggest one, actually. I think that's the biggest fence that you didn't ward. But that's okay. So you're gonna take these camps. You pretty much know that these are safe. Here's another thing: if Lisa was healthy, and he goes to take these camps, then you're kind of forced to take these two up here.
Yeah.
But he was pretty low, so I think you know that's not likely, which means this is fine.
He also only took one camp, right? He only took his blue.
Yeah,
too,
he only
so.
takes blue.
He, so
You're level 3 and he has one camp. That's such a nice advantage. I wonder if I didn't even see how many minions were mid. It might have been worthwhile to soak mid and then take this camp. But we didn't.
Yeah,
check.
I think so too.
We can't make good decisions if we don't have information. That's why it's so
also,
important.
I think 2 a.m. XT is a little bit.
Yeah, I hard disagree with playing ranked at 2 a.m. But that's just, I mean, okay. Some people have that ability. I do not, and so far it doesn't look like you do.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have to consider I have jury duty. I'm sick as hell, and it's 2 a.m. This is just a bad time.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I don't want to coach too much on micro, but I typically don't ever cast E on my camps, especially when you're healthy. I'd rather hold on to stun in case somebody invades you. On the slight chance that Lee Sin is there, I mean, you're super healthy and you're only saving yourself like one hit by stunning this camp. So
Right.
I would try to break that habit because unless you're like 100 HP. When I'm like 100, 200 HP, of course do it. But I think that would be a pretty easy change to make when you're playing Elise. Don't stun the camps unless you need to. Or unless it's like super early game and you're on your second camp, whatever, third camp.
Whoa, that's smite.
I don't care about the smite. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
So we look bot. Such a weird game. Hard to coach weird games.
Yeah. 2 a.m. special, dude.
Here's another thing. If you were watching bot lane, you might know whether or not he had burned flash, but you were too focused on the red buff and you didn't gather any information.
That's true.
Because with that, is your bot laner right here? Yeah, support's there. If you know he doesn't have flash, it's a good looking gank. But if he does have flash, it's not great.
Yeah.
Especially since they were just fighting in this area, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a ward.
I just realized that Trinimir took Scuttle. Oof.
What is your AD carry doing? Oh my god, dude! These games, there's nothing you can do about it. There's just nothing you can do about these people.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the way I look at it is like, you can't control your teammates. They're all brain dead.
Mm-hmm.
All you can do is jungle better. And like, if you keep jungling better and better, eventually, right now you probably lose like 40% of your games are because your teammates suck.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the better you are, the smaller that number gets. Like, if you're really good, that number is going to go down to 30%. And if you get really good, that number goes down to 20%. Like, the better you are, the less room for your teammates to ruin the game. So that's why you gotta like not let the shit get under your skin, because teammates suck. They're gonna suck no matter what elo you are. And the key to getting better at League is doing the best you can despite your teammates. No matter how hard your teammates try to throw, just focus on making the right choice at all times and getting those good habits. So it's frustrating, and like, it's okay to complain about every now and then, but you don't want to dwell on that shit.
Yeah.
So we have like okay. We're kind of this is such a weird game. Like, we haven't been able to talk that much. So Lee Sin, he probably has 4 CS if you were to hit tab right now. I missed it. Let me see. Your little micro tabs, I can't catch them. Can I go frame by frame? No, I can't.
Oh no.
And like, I know you're just hitting tab out of. Oh, there he is. He's level 3, so he's taken at least 2 more camps. I don't know that you ever tabbed enough to see his CS, but it should have been at 4. Okay. Maybe if you had vision here, you would have some information.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Like, you just have so little information to work with. I think the scuttle play is fine because you have 3v2, and they're like decently healthy.
I didn't realize how brain dead the bot lane was, though. I think at this point.
They're always brain dead. Always brain
Yeah.
dead.
It was bad.
You don't have smite.
Yep.
I
I think I lose the Scuttle here.
You probably just surrender this scuttle because you don't have smite.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you just start auto-attacking Lee Sin. Honestly, if you just start auto-attacking Lee Sin, it might be winnable, but if LeBlanc is more attentive than your bot lane, it's doomed, so... Yeah, that's probably what I would have done. Oh, you didn't block with your spiderlings.
Report.
Okay. I
Feels bad,
if
dude.
if you, I know, it's whatever. If you had stun, still, you might have been able to fight them off, but like, of course you're gonna... Okay, how about this? Since you didn't have Vision of Lee Sin, you probably shouldn't have started the scuttle with stun. I think that's like the only takeaway I can get from this. Like, you didn't have information, so I can't say this is bad because you didn't have the information, but since you didn't have information, I think using the stun was the wrong call. Cool. I was going to ask you to mute, but that works. Anyway, that sucks, but at least you survived. I still can't tell how much CS he has because your tabs are too fast to read. I'm not sure that you're able to read that either, but I get that it's just a habit. Cool.
2 a.m.
Oh, it's so hard to watch sometimes. All right, 16 CS. All right, finally we know how much CS he has. All right. Oh, but
So he had 12. He had 12 before the Scuttle.
yeah, so he has one.
He cleared all his bot.
I mean, you almost definitely know it was these two, right?
Mhm.
I mean, unless he went top. Again, not having this ward hurts because we don't know. So it's hard to say. It's hard to form. It's hard to form a plan when we don't have enough information. So what are you thinking here? What's the game going like? Where are you going next and why?
I think I'm starting bot side because my bot lane's backing, and I'm pretty confident that my bot lane can probably help me get dragon at a point. So I'm probably just gonna clear bot side and keep hovering around bot, see if I can get more kills. Because I know they don't have flash.
You know, bot doesn't have flash. Do we?
Pretty sure they used it at the last fight.
Okay.
Also their first blood too. So
I don't remember. I spam all of the summoners, and you're not. I'm not saying I don't believe you, but I would be more confident if you were actually clicking the summoner spells or like typing the summoner spells.
yeah.
And once
I can
again,
see.
share that information with your team. Like if somebody's spamming them, if somebody's timing them, solo queue, like people aren't going to pay attention, but in comp, it's good. It's a good habit to build.
Yeah.
So you're going to clear out bot side here, and basically you're hovering bot because of dragon priority. You want to be bot more than top because of the dragon, is what I understand.
Also, top lane is basically over for Kiana.
Yeah, your laner's too low, so look, that stun's not doing anything, so we can stop stunning the camps.
That's gonna happen all game. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to happen all game. I just want to point out why you should work on breaking that habit. So again, and like I know you did these games back to back and you didn't have coaching, but if we were looking bot lane, we could look at the minions. It's like, is there another wave coming in? Like, is red gonna stay here, or is that his last minion he's about to back? I mean, if you're just more information, jungling is all about finding information, processing it, and making a game plan. I'm trying to remember what the three. I'll have to look it up. But the coach I watch, his 3 steps of jungling, I think it's like tracking, pathing, and planning. I think those are the 3 steps of jungling. And I'll double check it after that. Tracking, pathing, and planning. And the idea behind that is tracking, you're gathering your information. Where is the jungler? Where does he want to go? Where has he been? What's available for him to do? Pathing, it's like, okay, based on what I know, what is his path going to do? What is his path going to be? Is his 3 camps up? Then I think he's going to do this. Or I think he's going to rope around to mid because I have information about my mid laner being pushed. That's the pathing part. And then the planning is like, okay, because I think these are his 2 options, what am I going to do about it? Oh, I'm going to plan to influence the much more important bot lane. I'm going to get the dragon, or I'm going to protect mid. So I think those are what he describes 3 steps of jungling, and it all starts with gathering information. If you don't have information, you can't plan these paths for yourself or for the enemy jungler. And if you don't know where the enemy jungler is going, you can't plan around it. So it's so important to just every second, and that's why the jungler is so often the shot caller in competitive teams, because they're the ones who have the most opportunity to gather information about the map. I mean, you can't expect an AD carry to be tabbing to other lanes while he has 6 minions to last hit, or while he's trying to freeze a lane. And that's why the jungler is responsible for this information, and they're expected to process it, because you do have a lot of downtime. It's PvE, you don't have the last hit. Like, it's so crucial for this first step to track everything on the map with every second you have. The more you can track, then the better your pathing, the better your planning. And it all starts from just finding ways to gather more information, whether that's through wards, through pressing tab and looking at CS, through whatever it might be, panning over to lanes. It's just so important just to constantly gather as much information as possible. And like even if you aren't the best at like pathing and planning, just once you're competitive, like your teammates can help you with that if you're gathering information for the team. And there's some things that the laners have to gather for you, like if the lane, say top lane's dead even, your Tryndamere is responsible for saying like, hey, I can freeze this lane and set up a gank, or I can push this and we can dive. That's the kind of information your laners give to you, but 80% of information comes from the jungler in a competitive setting. And you can apply that to solo queue as well, even though your teammates are brainless. It's such a shitty game for learning from, not like to any fault of your own, but because there's just so much nonsense going on. And this is a good gank. Like, this is fine. The bot lane was overextended, and it's not hard to make this sort of decision because it was... Oh my god, dude. Oh my god!
Fucking enemy. Holy shit.
It's not just you, it's literally everybody.
What the fuck was that man doing?
But yeah, there's not...
I think I get the chase here. I hope I do. Please.
Yeah. I mean, like, if I really wanted to, I could talk about, like, oh, what's the risk reward of you ganking bot here? But they are just so blatantly overextended that you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
I was going to comment on
How do you
the
get
red
that
trinket.
late?
Huh?
Wait, what's up?
I was going to comment on the red
Yeah,
trinket.
you red trinket. Yeah.
God, you're 4-0 already? This game, kind of crazy. Okay, so like this early game was incredible, but I feel like it's more on the opponents than on you. And like, I'm not trying to like shame you or put you down, but like, you didn't like do any sort of planning. It just kind of fell into your hands. So like, these games happen, but if you're not actively making them happen, this happened passively. This happened because these 9 NPCs let you become 4-0, and you made like a couple good decisions, but at no point were you like outplaying or like outplanning the other team. So this is like a passive victory, and what we want to see more of are active victories where you're 4-0 because you predicted the jungler's gank, or you were able to deny 3 of his camps and stuff like that. So games like these are fine, and it's okay to be happy about, but like the real victories are the ones that you make happen actively. I'm not crazy about the red trinket this early, just because we're still like in jungle phase, and I think there's still a lot of information to be gained just by warding your opponent's jungle. But it's okay. I mean, you're a gank heavy champion. You're ahead, so like, of course, you want to set up ganks. But I personally, I would stick to the yellow trinket for a little while longer.
That makes sense. Yeah. Also, I think red trinket loses value in lower elos because people don't really ward.
Yep.
So.
Also,
you're right.
red trinket increases in value because they also don't sweep.
That is true.
I typically... Okay, so like... this is kind of off topic for a second. They must have changed something this season with trinkets. Because I don't know if you knew this, but last season, if you had a yellow trinket, placed both your wards, and switched to red trinket, your red trinket would have a 40-second cooldown. After that, after 40 seconds, you could switch back to yellow, and you'd have 2 wards up again. So instead of waiting like 6 minutes for 2 wards, you only had to wait 40 seconds. And when that happened, I would constantly switch between yellow and red. Like I would ward twice, recall, switch to red, clear a couple camps, recall, and I'd have 2 wards again. It was super broken. But now they don't like reset each other's cooldowns anymore. So I don't know what they changed about that. But like when that was a thing, I used to switch trinkets a lot. This season, I need to get in the habit of sticking the yellow trinket more. Like the first 10 minutes or so, yellow is super valuable because it helps. I mean, sometimes you don't need a red trinket to avoid wards if you know where they've warded because of your yellow trinkets, I guess. Anyway. Dragon's still on the table. I'm kind of done with this game. If I'm being honest, like, it looks like it's going well. Did you end up winning for this game?
No.
No loss. What happened?
Vayne happened.
Oh, vein spotting.
Yeah. A lot of the game is like the Vayne just started turbo-inting.
Mhm.
And even though I was like really ahead, like
I can see your face. I know
Yeah.
you can't see it, but I can see your face here, and I can tell you didn't like that play.
oh my god, what happened? What was I
you
doing?
put
Oh,
your
yeah.
whole head into your shirt, like you're just cringing at your own whatever.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. This game is just
Yeah, this is kind of Fiesta. It's hard to
Yeah.
find good learning points from total Fiestas. Like I expect every
Yeah.
Gold Plat game to be kind of silly, but this one's especially silly.
yeah, I don't know. Vayne just kind of existed that game.
Mhm.
So that's all I'll say. I feel like I don't know.
This game happened. Okay, here's how I would put it. If you were playing like super high level and like processing a ton of information, you wouldn't have played this game much differently. Just because this was a really
Yeah.
low level, unpredictable game. And that's one of the things that sucks about learning jungle at a low level. Tracking gets easier. Tracking your opponent gets easier the better they are. Because like all the way from Plat 4 to Diamond 1, junglers become very predictable. They learn how to path correctly, and if you know how to path correctly, you can always predict them. It doesn't, not until like fucking Challenger do junglers actually start thinking a step ahead. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the opposite of that is like in like gold and low plat, when junglers haven't learned that optimization yet, it's so hard to like make smart plays because they're completely random. So even if you're in like a gold 4 game playing at a plat 4 level, sometimes you can't read their plat 4 jungler, their gold 4 jungler because he's not making any sense.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those games where it's like, oh my god. Oh my god.
2
It's one of
a.m.,
those games
2
where it's
a.m.
like, there's just too much randomness happening to where you can't even try to make sense. Can't even try to make sense of it. So yeah, not much to learn from this. I think the first game was really good to learn from though, and I like the session we had on that. This game's just kind of stupid.
Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of done with it. But I think our first game was a lot better than this one.
Yeah. Definitely. Ugh.
So I gave you a little recap of the stuff we talked about,
Uh-huh.
and it is a ton to think about. I mean, we spent what 50 minutes on 8 minutes of gameplay or something like that, because, and obviously I was over explaining everything, but it cannot be understated how much you have to think in the first like 8 to 10 minutes of the game. I mean, there's so much the jungler is responsible for, and there's so much high level junglers can do to make advantages and gain information. And the only way to get better at it is to do it, to think. You have to play games consciously. You can't fucking autopilot as jungler ever. You can't autopilot as jungle. Because, I mean, that's when you're predictable. That's when you're not gaining information. You're not using information. So, just got to drill it. You got to do it over and over again. Sometimes it helps to talk to a partner or talk out loud to make sure that you're processing this information.
Yeah.
So, think about that little list I sent you. Think about it every game. Start every. I mean, don't go AFK during the queue. Formulate a game plan once you see the champions and the summoner spells, and think about how you're gonna ward, what information you can gain at each point, and just do it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. I think that's about all I had to say about these two games, and I think we did a lot, and it's been a pretty long session. I don't want to keep going to the point where it's just any more confusing than it already is. So I'll call it there. Did you have any other questions about what we've gone over or about these games?
No. I don't really have any questions. I think that was pretty straightforward. It learned a lot.
Cool. All right. I'll upload these to YouTube in case you want to go over anything. You have the list of what we went over. and I will. If y'all play tonight, I'll do one more session like this.
Lit.
I don't know if y'all are playing tonight, but if you do, I'll be around for that because comp games are of course different from competitive. Oh,
Yeah.
one more thing, champions. Last thing, let's spend 5 minutes talking about champions. Send me a list of your top 5 junglers right now. Like if you got put onto a random competitive team and they said, give me your best 5 junglers, we're going to draft one of these for you. Just, what would you say?
Yeah, there we go. Sent it.
Oh, okay, I actually like all of those. So here's what I think is valuable in a champion pool. And I think you should have different champion pools for solo queue and competitive. Like, you're not going to go into solo queue blind picking Zach every game, you know? Solo queue, I think you want your champions to be blind pickable. I'm going to make a little list. 2, you have to enjoy them.
Sup, losers.
Okay. Enjoy them enough to spam through losses. They have to be decent. I don't care about... Actually, they don't even have to be good. Like, if you're playing in solo queue, I would pick champions that can carry over tanks most of the time. And yeah, like, Dr. Mundo can fucking carry. And Zach can carry, but tanks like Sejuani don't really carry.
Dr. Mundo gets like 2 kills. He can actually just run over the entire enemy
Mundo
team.
So much. So I'll take carry potential and early game tempo. Early to mid at latest. I would not play... Okay, so that's my solo queue list for a champion pool. Obviously, you want blind pickable because people are going to trade you in solo queue. Like, I don't play much Talia in the jungle anymore because picking her first and then there's a lot of champions that are really matchup dependent. I don't have to explain that. You have to play champions that you enjoy even when you're losing. I picked Skarner. I played a ton of Skarner because, like, even when I lose the game, I still had fun playing Skarner, like in blowout losses. Like, I don't know. You got to find those champions that just work for you. You really got to like a champion, or else solo queues can be miserable. Like, some people would claw their eyes out if I told them to play 100 Sejuani games, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be decent. You don't want to pick controls or carry potential. Solo queue, like I said, you have 9 NPCs in the game, and if you're gonna play like Ivern jump, you have to be at such a high level to constantly climb with champions like Ivern or like shit like that just buffs your teammates. It's so much easier to win on carries, even if you don't consider yourself a carry player. I think for solo
if you're
queue,
not.
I think for solo queue, it's fine to focus on those champions because you're playing with 9 bots. And then the last one is early to mid game tempo because I think it's better to learn the jungle from an aggressive standpoint than to learn how to farm up and not die. I think if you climb on a champion like Lee Sin... Okay, I'm exaggerating. Oh, I forgot the last one. I'll add that in a second. I think it's better to climb on a champion like Lee Sin rather than Master Yi because Lee Sin, you're learning how to play PvP, and a farming jungle, you're learning how to play PvE, you know? And, like, sure, it might be easier to climb with Master Yi because you just sit back and wait till 25 minutes and win the game, but you're not learning the game as much as a champion that forces you to take risks and a champion that forces you to outplay the other jungler.
I mean...
My 6-1 for solo queue champion would be easy to play, which takes Lee Sin off that list. And the reason behind this is, every time you make a mechanical blunder, every time you try to do something and you fail at it, which is different than a mechanical error. A mechanical error is like, I decided to do this, and it was the wrong call. That's a mechanical error. A mechanical blunder is when, say you go in for Jarvan EQ flash, and you fail your flash, and you're just sitting in place. That's a blunder. Every time you make a mechanical blunder, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your team's time, and you've wasted whatever sort of advantage you built. So, like, just play champions that you can play blindfolded. Or play them in normals until you can play them blindfolded. If you really want to play Lee Sin, like, go play 1,000 games, you know, or go play 200 games. But honestly, just every mechanical blunder is a waste of time, and it's a wasted learning experience. So that's why I say easy to play. So that's my criteria for solo queue champions. So going back over that list, J4 is awesome. He fits all of those. I think he's one of the best solo queue champions. I think he's one of the best champions sold in the jungle with. He's super easy.
I think, yeah.
Super blind pickable. You can flex him if you get behind. Like, I'm a dumbass. I love Electrocute Jarvan. But if I start feeding, I'll just flex into Cinderhulk and still be useful. He's decent. You know, he's an early game jungler. He's awesome for learning the jungle. Olaf is good. He's probably more of a mid game, but like not so late game to where you're just going to AFK farm. Zac is good. He's in a good state right now. I mean, all three of those are pretty easy to play champions. They don't have big skill shots. You're not going to make a lot of blunders playing those champions. Gragas, I think, is a little hard. There's a lot of room for error playing Gragas. That's why
I think
I'm not worried about him.
Gragas teaches counter ganks really well, though, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's okay.
Also engage, which is a good thing to have, but Jarvan does that already, so.
And I think Mundo is... The reason I don't like Mundo is because I think he's too good. I think there's also, when talking about like good champions to have, there's a class of champions that kind of just break the rules. You know, it's like learning to play AD carry but maining Kalista, where you're learning to play the champion more than the game because they do things differently from every other champ. Dr. Mundo, I mean, he doesn't die. He can clear forever. He's got a lot of things in his kit that don't translate to other junglers. So he's okay in the fact that he's simple, but I wouldn't make him your only champion.
I mean, Dr. Mundo's not a champion that teaches you the game.
Exactly.
You like, Dr. Mundo's the champ you lock in if you actually want to like hit diamond or something and you're trying to climb and you know your Mundo's good. But if you're actually trying to get better, Mundo's not really going to teach you that much.
For team play, I would say, number one, they gotta be meta. And you have to always adjust your pool to fit the meta. Two, this is going to be the opposite of like picking early to mid game junglers. I would say junglers that fit your role on the team. Like, if you're the only gold on a team of platinums, which happens to be the case here, you're not going to be on Lee Sin duty. You're not going to be on Kindred duty, you know? So you have to understand, or you know, the opposite. If you're a diamond player on a team of plats, you're probably going to need to be on more of a carry threat rather than your R clickers. So your role also determines your pool on a team. Flexibility and blind pickability. As a jungler, a lot of times you're going to get early picks in the drafts, and your champions need to be okay with that. So that's important for solo queue and comp. That's different for other roles, like top lane, where blind pickability is really good in... let me say mid laners. Blind pickability is really good in solo queue, but less important in comp. Flexibility, blind pickability. I'm going to say easier to play again. For the same reason, like, if you're making blunders in crucial situations, you're just hurting your team. It's like, if two champs are equally good and one of them's harder to play, you pick the easier one 100% of the time. Easier, and I'll say variety. Variety is a lot more important in team play in your pool than in solo queue. Solo queue, you can play Jarvan, 250 games and never get punished for it. But in competitive, you have to be able to play AD engage or AP caster or a tank or whatever. So as far as champions go, that's kind of what I would suggest. I think one of the most overlooked one is ease of use. I think that's really important. I value players, especially at a gold to plat level, who are comfortable on easy champions. Like freaking Malgly playing Malzahar and Zillion every game. We make fun of him for it, but that's the right way to do it. Like, I don't want... If I'm a coach for a platinum team, I don't want my platform mid laner, like, fucking up some complicated, I don't know, Kiana combo or whatever it might be. Kiana's not that hard. A Zed combo. I don't want my mid laner messing up a Zed combo. I'd rather them, you know, QWQ a Zillion and win the game. So, being flashy scores nothing in competitive. So yeah, I think that was the last thing I wanted to talk about, was just kind of like your champion pool. If you have any questions about like specific champions, I'm sure me or Hubers could both answer them. But just I'm not trying to tell you how to play. I'm trying to help you understand what to think about when you're making decisions. That's all.
Sounds great. Thanks,
Yeah, that was a
Coach.
little bit of a lecture, but I just want to, you know, I had a lot to say.
Yep.
All right, I think that's all me and XT are going to do. So I kind of lectured him for a couple hours. I don't know if you're going to throw him into a scrim, but he's all yours.